But now I want to talk about where is Bryce Young in the Heisman race? You play at Alabama, you're going to get some attention. You're going to get some attention. I mean, look at Mac Jones. Did anyone think Mac Jones was going to win the Heisman last year? No, but all of a sudden he's just putting up numbers. And of course he didn't win it. He finished second or third. I don't really remember. But he was up for it, and that was something nobody thought going into the season. I think we all knew Bryce Young was talented, but I don't think anybody thought he'd be as good as he has been for the most part. He's had some struggles, but he's a sophomore quarterback that was his, seventh start? And he's already been very, very impressive. I mean, I can't do math, so I'm not going to put together all the totals. But he's thrown for over 20 touchdowns, only 3 picks. He's just been an elite quarterback. And I mentioned this when I started talking about the Heisman race. Who else is blowing away the field? Kenneth Walker was pretty bad today. He was probably the favorite just because he was leading the country in rushing. But he didn't have a big game against Indiana, and he's still got to play Michigan's defense. He's got to play Penn State's defense. Now, if he has monster games against those teams, then yeah, absolutely, he's back in the race. Or he's still very much in the race. He's in the race right now, but he's still right there. But if those teams play the defense like we're used to seeing them play, he's probably going to fall out of it. The guy I would keep an eye on isn't just Matt Corral, he's been okay. I got to see his numbers from tonight. But it's CJ Stroud, who's been unbelievable at points for the Ohio State Buckeyes. No, I want football. Come on, ESPN. Just work. There we go. Box score. Yeah, Corral, 20 of 35, 219 yards. But he also has run for almost 200 yards tonight. So he's in the race. Bryce Young's probably in the race. Is in the race. You got Kenneth Walker in the race. You have Kenny Pickett in the race. Kenny Pickett's been pretty good this year. I just don't know if Pittsburgh, God, I can't believe that's what I'm saying right now, is good enough to vault him into the top of that race. I mean, yeah, Kenneth Walker, 23 carries, 84 yards, no touchdowns. That's probably not going to keep you in the Heisman race up there with CJ Stroud and Bryce Young and some of these other guys. But he'll have opportunities in the very near future to really take advantage against some good defenses. And he gets a game against the Buckeyes. I know I mentioned Penn State and Michigan, but he'll get a game against the Buckeyes. It'll probably be an 11 a.m. game because Fox. Roll Tide, he says. Yep, and they did roll today. We just spent 20 minutes talking about the game, and leave your thoughts and comments about the game, because for me, it was just kind of ho-hum. Alabama did what I think we all expected them to do. They dominated. They played defense. They played defense how you should play defense against Mississippi State. They kept everything in front. That was a really nice rush. Oh, the Blues. They kept everything in front. They didn't let any big plays come up. And what happens when you play those kind of teams like the Bulldogs is something's going to happen, whether it be a drop pass, just a bad throw, a pass breakup, a penalty. Something's going to happen that's going to leave you behind the chains if you're the Bulldogs. And Alabama forced that a lot. Sure, they pick up a couple first downs. Will Rogers threw for 300 yards. He threw 55 passes. And kept it in front, didn't let them go down the field. Win pretty easily. They kicked 3 field goals for a reason. But yeah, you do what you got to do when you're Alabama. And Kenny Pickett wasn't great today either. Only 22, 37, 203 yards, but he's been great this season. He's completing 72% of his passes. He has over 20 touchdowns. He's only thrown one pick. He's been awesome. So he's probably right in the race. Again, the issue for him is going to be Pittsburgh and how good are they? Because they're not going to give the Heisman unless you're just simply fantastic to a team that's like 8-4, or I think they're 5-1 right now. I think they're 5-1, but they're not going to give it to that caliber of a team player unless your name's Tim Tebow and you break the record for like most touchdowns or whatever he did in 2007. Yeah, the weird year where it should have maybe been Darren McFadden. But talking just about Bryce Young, he's been very impressive. And, if he doesn't get it this year, he'll have another shot next year. It's going to depend on how the public views Matt Corral and what Ole Miss does, sort of like Kenny Pickett. If Kenneth Walker goes off against Michigan or Penn State or Ohio State, it could be his to lose. But he's right in there. And I said earlier, this just isn't an impressive class. It's just not. It's not like an impressive Heisman class. You see some of these and you're like, oh, wow, those are some superstars. And with this one, it's just kind of like you look at people's numbers and you go, oh, yeah, they should definitely be up for the Heisman. Why aren't we talking about this guy? And it's a bunch of young kids this year. Bryce Young, Stroud, a transfer in Kenneth Walker, Kenny Pickett at Pittsburgh of all places. Maybe Jake Hayner from Fresno, even though he hasn't played well in a couple games. So it's just kind of all over the place in the Heisman race. That rhymed.